You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning. This is normally the day, about 6:15, we'll get Brian Armstead to call. And right now he's at the Chicago Fair. They're doing a car expedition. I had no idea. The glamour, the glitz, the scripting. It looks like a choreography, I don't know, a Broadway production. That's about the best way. And I've never seen anything like it. He sent some video clips on YouTube and Instagram, what's going on up there. It's amazing. I mean, they got fog machines on the floor, strobe lights. It looks like a discotheque on some of the things as they bring out the new cars that are being introduced into America. It looks like 2018 is going to be a wild ride. Listen to me. It's going to be a wild ride when it comes to cars. I got Rob Lapham calling all the way from Port St. Joe, right over the Bay County line. He's almost a Bay County citizen by default, but because he does speak a lot at our local schools about what's going on with the supervisor's elections office. How are we doing this morning, Rob?
I'm doing just great, James, and I'm fascinated by the last few words you spoke as Anna Marie plugged me in about 2018 cars. What was your thought there?
I was talking about how Brian Armstead is at the Chicago Car Expo, and it's a really big thing out there, and I had no idea all the glamour and glitz and choreography and everything that goes together to produce a car show. And he was just showing, and some of the cars that are coming out are like the incredible fuel mileage, and some of them look incredibly fast, and some of them are incredibly fast, but one thing is in common, they're all incredibly expensive. That's what
it's going to be very interesting. I'm not going to Chicago, but I'm certain I'll have a look at the the reporting when they is this rolling out soon?
Yes. Well, right now the car show is going on as we speak. It's going on. Last week every week he goes to a different car show or a different rollout. Last week was the Kia Nitro, I believe, or Niro. I can't remember which one it was. Kia, what was it again?
I think it's a Niro.
Niro. Anyway, really, and he goes all over the world. And
so this is a series, and it's on every week?
Well, it's here on my show, believe it or not.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes,
I apologize.
That's
so
right.
much.
Right, that's okay. Every Thursday morning, he calls. He's on Eastern time, just like you are, and he calls every Thursday morning at 6:15, and we talk about what's going on. Well, last couple of weeks, he's been out of town. He was in. Was he in Houston last week or Dallas? He was in Texas last week, and a few weeks before that he was in Los Angeles, and before that he was in Hawaii, and before that he was in Vermont, and then before that he was in Nova Scotia. And what he does, he travels around the world reviewing new cars that are coming out. I think in Nova Scotia they were talking about the Volvo, if you can believe that. They were rolling out the platform a few weeks ago, the new Volvo, and it was...
My heavens.
Yeah.
Well, James, I am so embarrassed because, as you know, I listen and I participate in this first 15-minute segment of your half-hour program, and that's what ends up, that segment ends up on YouTube and such. But I've never actually, and I should, dial into Fox 28 and see the whole program when it airs so that I can see what Brian has to offer.
It's kind of like, one of our, I think one time we were talking about your little Mini. You had a dent in it, you had a boo-boo. I don't know what happened with it. And I said, I know a guy that can fix that without you having to paint it. And you said, okay, let's try it out. And it's... Dent Magic paintless dent removal. They're near on 30A out there, and they looked at your car and came in town, and I think they knocked all the dent out that you can't even tell it's even there anymore.
It is perfect. They did such a fantastic job.
And that's something that I want people to try to do.
And since we're talking about Dent Magic, and I didn't raise it,
now
I'll go ahead and plug them.
All right, go ahead and plug them.
They're in Santa Rosa Beach, and their phone number is 850-428. 5406.
Right.
That's 428-5406.
Now,
and call Wes and tell him you got a dent, and he'll tell you how he'll take care of it.
Now, in case people don't realize what kind of dent you had a dent that would be, I would say, the size of a football, maybe a basketball.
It was certainly the size. The diameter of the thing was rather large. It wasn't an auto crash where the metal had teared or anything. I think somebody with a bumper guard had frankly driven into or backed into the side of my car. So it was a large area, but it was brought back to life, and you cannot tell there was ever a dent there.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to read Popular Mechanics, and one of the tricks, they call that a bolly lop. When you're sitting in a driveway, a parking lot, and you open your door against one of those posts and you put a dent in it,
Sure.
they call that a bolly lop. And I said, well, that's an interesting term. I learned that when I was a kid. And they told, and back then in the 60s, and they showed how to fix that bolly lop. They called it was take a deflated basketball, stick in the door and fill up the basketball with air, and it would pop it out. Well, Russ does something like that, but he uses rods and a heat gun and and it gets things cold, gets things hot, and he doesn't distort the metal or change the color of the paint or anything like that. And when you get finished with it, the metal's straight, and the only thing you may notice is there's a scratch there. That might be the only thing you may notice, but that's so much better than having a great big dent the size of a football in the side of in the corner of your car.
You bet. And of course, if there's a scratch there, it's because the paint was scratched off, and there's nothing about at least that dent magic that's going to change the scratch. But the entire indentation, if you will, on the large dent that I had is it's gone. You can't see it. You don't know it was ever there. I understood from Wes that the process he uses is pressure, not heat, not cold. And I guess there are other mechanisms out there. I was frankly turned on by the price. It was less than half the cost that I figured it was going to be. So I was pleased on multiple fronts, not just the quality of the work.
Well, I've been working on your car since you've come to Bay County, since you've come to Florida, and I looked at the dent and I said, in reality, as I said, if you take it to a body shop, what they got to do to pull it out and get it all out, all that, you're looking at between $500 and $1,000, and you're talking about 3 to 5 days out of service. And you said, yeah, that's a lot. And I said, yeah, it is a lot. And he did.
You want to compare that with the actual?
Yeah. What was the actual?
It was 3 hours. My wife and I went into Destin to do some shopping. And when we came back, it was done. And she went back to the house in her car. She was driving me. I thought I was going to have to leave it. Anyway, 3 hours and $225. A really good investment from my perspective. And
so what you've done is you've actually made your trade-in value of your car. You've maintained it, because if you'd turned that in with that dent in it, I guarantee you they would have taken $1,000 off your trade-in value easily.
Sure, absolutely.
Easily, and that's something someone might want to think about. And if people that have used cars for sale, that would be a perfect thing. If you got a car you're trying to sell, and that might be the reason you may not be selling it because you got a great big dent in it or something, I bet you could get 99.9% of that dent out where people won't even notice it, and for a fraction of the cost of what it would cost if you took it to a body shop. But anyway, that's just some pretty good ideas out there what's going on. But I just want to get your idea of what's happening about the red light cameras that our Senator George Gaynor, made the deciding vote to not let it get out of committee, not go on. It died in committee, so there will be no discussion of red light cameras in this session. It's not going to happen. We're going to have red light cameras are going to stay in place in Florida. I didn't know if you knew anything about that or not.
I am not in favor of red light cameras, and actually that got very personal for me 4 years ago in San Antonio, Texas, when I did a rolling right turn early in the morning. There was no traffic, but still there's no excuse. It was red. I just rolled around and headed off on the side street. And I was quite surprised to get in the mail 10 days later a picture of the back end of my car, including the license plate and so forth, along with the citation and the fine. And so we all hate getting caught on that.
Yeah.
But, what is the rationale for the government spying on us? In the particular, the problem is in this particular case, I'm not trying to justify running a red light, which I have to admit that I did. But I can say that the law was onerous, really. I mean, if you were able to see the broader image at something like 5 o'clock in the morning, where literally there was no traffic either way and so forth, nobody was damaged by that. And what is our government doing with this? They have to draw a balance between security and invasion of our privacy. And there must be some instances where you in the interest of protecting the general public, you do need to have cameras, and certainly I favor cameras in 7-Eleven or stores, even liquor stores and so forth, because you don't want the people that are holding up establishments to get away. And if you have a picture of them, it is obviously far easier to get them. So it's a real quandary. I mean, as a libertarian, I dislike government invasion of our privacy. Now, I don't think that argument of security really applies to red lights. I think the senator is overstepping it. That's not what is it? A misdemeanor?
Well, I don't think. I'm sure it is.
Well, it's my understanding.
Where does this stop?
Yeah, it's my understanding under the Constitution we have the right to face our accuser in a court of law. How can you get that camera down and bring it to court?
That would be a good, Anna Marie, that'd be great. The judge should throw out that particular case or table it pending production of the camera.
Well, and they have done that.
And they have. Now, we only got about 3 minutes here, so anyway, one of the things I was thinking about on the red light cameras that is interesting, as far as I can tell about the red light cameras, is you're actually being filmed and they're giving you a fine, and half of it goes to the state, half of it goes to the municipality. So it's a win-win for the state. So this is a fact that George Gaynor voted for larger government as a Republican. He ran unopposed. That's one of the reasons I wrote him yesterday, and I'm encouraging everybody to write George Gaynor and say, Mr. Gaynor, were you confused? Did you not know the issue that red light cameras don't make things safer? They make them less safe because people slam on brakes. They find out that more accidents happen at red light cameras than before red light cameras were installed. I don't know if you knew that or not, but the only thing it benefits is the coffers of the municipalities to make money. It's really it's a scam. It really is.
Yeah.
They've shortened the yellow lights on it, and if you get caught in it, and if they make something you can spray in your license plate to hide it, I would promote it.
Well, and that's what they're sending the ticket to the license plate.
Yeah.
And who's to say that you were actually driving the car, right?
Right.
First off, okay, so you've lent the car to someone. Or who's to say, for instance, that people change license plates now. Did you know that? They can change the digits on license plates.
Well,
They have the technology, and they're doing it in
Folks,
Florida.
I know time is short, but I'm recalling one of the first couple of James Bond films, Dr. No or something, way back when Sean Connery had it. And his Alfa Romeo had those rotating license plates, and perhaps that should be an optional extra for cars.
Well, it should be, but if I promote that, then they'd be saying, James, you're trying to promote anarchy and things like that. But, but the idea, someone was telling me yesterday, they make a clear spray paint that you spray over it that keeps the camera from actually photographing it because they have metallic image. And if it works, I would like to find out what the name of the company is, and I wouldn't charge them to promote the product. I just do it for free. I think it's a pretty neat idea. All right, we got to go, Rob. We've been up doing it too long. Anyway, the biggest thing is get involved with your local government in your city, state, county, whatever it is. Please get involved, because right now what's happening in Tallahassee, you wouldn't believe, Rob, all the stuff that's going on out there. And if people don't pay attention, they're going to roll right all over us in the next few days as they get ready to go back in session. It really is.
James, thank you so much.
All right, talk to you later, Rob. This is James Morris along with Anna Marie Morris, and Rob Lapham will be back. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.